that changes everything. A cut that takes away choice, freedom, and joy. For thousands of Nigerian girls, this isn't just imagination, it's reality. It's a tradition that is being passed down for generations. A practice that cuts deep into the lives of thousands of Nigerian girls, leaving them with physical and emotional wounds. Welcome to Feminine Focus. I am Fausat Jenado Hassan. Join me as we confront female genital mutilation and celebrate the women fighting to end it. Let's begin.
Female genital mutilation cuts deep in Nigeria, a practice and tradition that has no basis, cutting into the lives of Nigerian girls for generations. Female genital mutilation, a tradition that's supposed to mark a girl's transition to womanhood, but brings pain, fear, and lifelong scars. In Nigeria, over 20 million women and girls have undergone female genital mutilation, according to UNICEF. The practice is rooted in cultural and social norms, with many believing it's necessary for a girl's purity and marriageability. But the consequences are devastating. Female genital mutilation can lead to severe health complications, psychological trauma, and even death. Yet, many communities continue to see it as a necessary rite of passage. Activists, healthcare workers, and communities are coming together to end female genital mutilation. Laws are being enforced, and awareness is equally growing. It's a fight for the rights and dignity of Nigerian girls, a fight to cut away the harmful traditions that hold them back. Today on Feminine Focus, we will explore the complexities of female genital mutilation in Nigeria and hear from advocates fighting to end this practice. Stay with us.
It's, of course, a practice that is assumed to mark a girl's transition to womanhood. But instead of celebrating, it brings pain, fear, and even lifelong scars. Joining me are two leading advocates against female genital mutilation in Nigeria. Olufunke Bamikoli, the chairperson FIDA Kaduna branch, who has been at the forefront of empowering communities to abandon female genital mutilation and support survivors. We also have Rachel Sankey Daniel in the house, a nurse at Salama Sexual Assault Referral Center, Kakuri. She's also a leading advocate against female genital mutilation and always at the forefront of supporting survivors. You're welcome to Feminine Focus.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. We are glad to be here.
Okay, how common is female genital mutilation in Nigeria, and which communities practice it or are mostly affected?
Okay, here's the thing. While a lot of times we think that female genital mutilation, which is the cultural system of cutting females as a part of maybe a practice that believes it passes them from childhood into womanhood, or to help them. For some people, they do it for a pregnant woman when she's about to have a baby. They say if they are not cut, they may not have the baby healthily. Or they say for a child or for a girl that has been married off to her husband and she's refusing to have sex with the husband, they will say there's something that is blocking her. That's why she doesn't want to have sex, so they cut her. Or in some cases, they say there's a particular sickness that if you don't cut this child, she would have. So this one is even done for toddlers. While we may think it is something that is restricted to only rural communities, in my practice, being a nurse, in the last like 16, 17 years, I have seen people give birth to their children in towns, then take these same children from the town to their villages or to a herbal person to say let this child be cut so that they don't fall sick. So it is something that happens very widely in our society, and it's something that I'm glad we are talking about today.
All right, why do people still practice female genital mutilation and what makes them feel it's necessary?
Thank you very much. Honestly, I don't know the reason why they feel it is necessary because it has no basis. Religious aspect, it has no basis. I'm a Christian. You know the covenant Abraham had with God. God said he should circumcise all male children in his house. Female child was not mentioned, even in the Muslim religion. So I don't know the reason why they think it is necessary. It's not something that should be encouraged because it demeans female genders. It's not something that should be allowed to go on. It affects them emotionally, psychologically, in all aspects of life.
Okay, let's talk about the impact it has on girls and women. What are the physical and the psychological consequences of female genital mutilation for women and girls?
So this is the thing. Like I said, being a nurse and having worked in, because for a couple of years, 6, 8 years, I worked in VVF and RVF. These are some of the physical consequences I have seen. Number one, there's the fact that sometimes when this cut is made, the opening of the ureter, that is where the urine is supposed to pass out in the female, is cut. So she ends up not, depending on the degree of the cut, she would end up being unable to hold her urine. So even when the urine is gathered in her bladder, once she's pressed, it will pour out because she has no control of it. For some, they have some level of control, but not a very good control. For others, it is even worse because the cut, especially in the typical Hausa community where the knife that is used to make the cut is longer and they just insert it into the vagina and cut. In those cases, they may cut into the bladder, from the vagina into the bladder, creating what we call a fistula, a vesicovaginal fistula that connects both the bladder and the vagina. So if the urine just comes from the kidney, it just keeps pouring out. There is no level of control at all. And in some cases, when they are bringing out the knife, they make the mistake of taking it downwards and cutting her into the rectum, so she ends up leaking both urine, feces, without control. Sometimes these things will happen right from when the child is maybe around 2, 3 years of age. Now, seeing all that, you now know that there will be all sorts of infections happening in the life of this individual, be it a child or an adult. There will be the psychological trauma of not being able to mix with other people because you are smelling, you are leaking. Who wants to go anywhere with you? Who wants to associate with other people? So due to all these things, you end up seeing that this individual is depressed, this individual is socially awkward, this individual cannot function, and definitely there's nothing like schooling, there's nothing like
All right, over to you, Olufunke. She just spoke about the effect female genital mutilation has on a girl's health. So, how does it affect their education and future opportunities?
Just like she said, when all this happen, like she can't control the flow of urine or feces, definitely she will be smelling. She won't be herself. She will be psychologically and emotionally traumatized. And when this happens, she won't want to go to school. It will affect her education. She will stay at home because even if she goes to school, she's leaking, she's smelling, or using pampers, at least for those that can afford it. For those that cannot afford it, they will go and look for rag and then turn her to a baby. So all this will have psychological impact. Even when she sits in school, she can't concentrate. And when she cannot concentrate, she can't hear anything. At the end of the day, she may become a school dropout. So that one, it will greatly affect her education. Then when we talk of future opportunities, when a girl child does not go to school, what opportunity is open out there? Even if she's selling something, there will be a time people will say, that woman or that lady that used to smell, who knows whether, it will affect even the sale of a commodity. So it affects every area of her life.
Of course, future opportunities is zero for such a girl child. So, what cultural or let me say social factors drive the continuation of female genital mutilation?
A lot of cultural norms that drive it. Number one, especially in certain communities where I have worked, first and foremost is child marriage, where you take a girl who is very very young and you give her to a grown man and you say this is your wife. Yes, I understand that sometimes this is done because maybe her father has a debt that he cannot pay, and so he takes this girl and he gives her to this man, and she's the payment of the debt. So because she's there and he feels this is his wife, she's 11, she's 12, but as far as he's concerned, she's his wife and he must have his marital rights. And this girl refuses to agree for him to meet with her. And the next thing you find they are doing is, sometimes in these communities, the next thing is they take her and they go and cut her so that he would be able to sleep with her, because they'll say they'll say it's anguria or it's gishiri that is stopping her from agreeing. Number one, remember that this person is not psychologically prepared nor emotionally prepared for what you're asking of her. But because a man needs to be sexually satisfied, we take this child and we put her in this situation. So sometimes it is not even a matter of that she's about to have a baby. We just cut her because somebody needs to be sexually satisfied, and we do not care what happens to her. So that is one thing that seriously drives it. Then there is the cultural aspect that tries to put it as something of pride to say that your daughter has been caught, and the fact that, and in some communities where it is also believed that a woman that has been caught will not be promiscuous, so they caught her in order to make sure that once she gets married she won't actually enjoy sex, so she will stay in one place. It's only her husband that gets to have her, and she would not have the capacity to step out on her marriage. So basically those are the things.
Okay, she just spoke about the misconceptions on female genital mutilation being a prerequisite, or let me say, a requirement for being pure, right? So, how can we address the misconception or change the belief about female genital mutilation being a requirement for marriage or purity?
The only thing we can do, number one, massive sensitization. massive sensitization. People need to be, you know, sensitized. They need that education that cutting a girl child is not a prerequisite for purity and marriage. You know, they are doing it based on cultural belief that if a girl child is cut, she won't be able to go around. But the hidden thing is for a female child not to enjoy sex. And God created female child to enjoy everything endowed in her. You know, sex is meant to be enjoyed by both male and female, husband and wife. And do you know that when a child is caught, a girl child is caught, so that she won't be going about or something like that, it still affects that marriage. Because when she's not sexually active, the man too cannot enjoy her. And most men do not understand. They won't want to still understand with her. There are some men, when they see it that way, all what they do is to help such a woman, at least to do some things in order to ginger her so that both of them will enjoy. But some, the men will now go out to be sleeping with ladies and women out there. So what we can do is to educate and sensitize people, both in the city and rural areas. And how can we do this? Through our social media handles, the television, radio, Facebook, anything that we propagate the campaign.
All right, Rachel, you spoke about communities affected. So, what strategies are working in communities to abandon female genital mutilation?
Okay, so like I said, a lot of these communities, the thing we are doing right now is to create awareness. We're creating awareness, we're doing awareness campaigns, we are talking with community leaders, opinion leaders, religious leaders, to get them to see. We are talking with the women who are also part of those who enforce these things. And right now, there is Empowering Women for Excellence Initiative, EWI, an NGO here in Kaduna, is actually doing a project in KK1, KK2, and Rafunguza, where we are working with community leaders to see that they are sensitized and helping to ensure that these girls are allowed to go back to school. Let them stay in school, let them finish school, let them become something. It's not just because for us to ignore the plight of the girl child is to like try to say she doesn't exist. Yet she exists. She's right before our eyes. She's me, she's you, she's my mother, she's my daughter. So it's to hide from reality when we fail to see her and to do something for her.
Okay, am I right to say you all are activists against female genital mutilation?
Yes.
Okay. So, how are you and other activists and organizations supporting survivors and preventing future cases?
Just like you said, we are activists. Activists in the sense that we promote the rights of women and girls. And you know that cutting them, this female genital mutilation, is a violation against the rights of a girl child or even women. So what do? We collaborate, we come together. Just like she mentioned, Iwi. Iwi is really trying so hard not to leave the survivors, but to do something about it because they can't be neglected and feel that they are useless. There's nothing they can do. So there are things to be done. And that's why as organizations, we collaborate together, we partner together. What, like in FIDA, if we have such cases, we refer to where such survivors can get help, like health-wise or empowerment. And also there is an organization aside from IWI. You know, there are some organizations that they specialize in all this, like Bashir Fistula and Women Health foundation. They specialize on this. So if we have cases like that, we refer to them because we are working together. They know what to do. They have medical experts that can attend to them, so that the survivors too will know that despite that, because that problem was brought upon them, it's not their making. They were even innocent. They didn't know what was going on when all these things are done to them, and they cannot be left just like that. So activist organizations, and that's why we are even in the studio, is part of the strategies to help them, so that other people will hear about it. And thank God even for NTA for this forum, feminine focus, so that all these issues can be discussed and people will know about it. Is part of the strategies we are doing to ensure that the survivors are not neglected.
Okay, is it important to engage traditional leaders in this fight?
Definitely, because they are the ones who uphold tradition. They are the ones that uphold our norms. And so, where a tradition is harmful, they are the only ones that can help us to see it stop. They are the only ones that can um, speak to the culture and show that it is harming our future. Because like I said, the girl child is me, is you, is my daughter, is my mother.
Okay, are there laws or policies needed to protect girls from female genital mutilation?
Definitely. Where there is no law, there is no sin. But then, ignorance of the law is not an excuse. There are various laws and policies. It may not be mentioned as in female genital mutilation, but let me start from the Constitution of Nigeria, 1999 Constitution as amended. You know, Chapter 2 of the Constitution talks about rights. So that harmful cultural norms is a violation of the rights of the girl child. So the constitution is even against it. That's number one. Then we have penal code. We have penal code that prescribed the offences and the punishment. Then we have child welfare law, or let me say Child Rights Act, which has been domesticated by all the states in the federation. Like in Kaduna, we have Child Rights and Welfare Law that stipulated all the rights of a child, and any violations, there are punishments. And then we have VAB law, violations against persons prohibition law. In fact, in that one, it is even mentioned that any attempt to commit these harmful practices, there are prescribed sanctions. So there are laws in place. All we need to do is to be law abiding. Let's not go against the law. Those, the problem we have is that we have beautiful laws, we have beautiful provisions, but implementation. So the government, the civil societies, the traditional rulers, religious leaders, everyone, all hands must be on deck to ensure that all these laws are read, understood, and implemented.
Okay, what's that one thing viewers can do to support the movement?
To our viewers at home, what we can all do: be your sister's keeper. Don't keep quiet. Don't say, after all, it's not my child, it's not my sister, it's not my friend that is happening to. Every girl child is you, reflection of you, whether man, woman, boy or girl. Let's not keep quiet. As you are hearing us, please disseminate the information. Sensitization.
Like she rightly said, we should speak out where it is something that we have done before or we are looking to do. If we have done it before, let's understand the wrongness of it. If we are planning to do it to somebody else, let's recognize the danger. And if it is a culture we uphold, let's also open our eyes to see that it is doing more harm to us than good.
All right, thank you so much, Olufunke Bamikole and Rachel Sankey Daniel, for sharing those beautiful insights. Now, let's talk about action. Here are some practical tips to help you or someone you know. Stay with us. All right, thanks for joining us on this important conversation about female genital mutilation. Remember, every voice matters in this fight. Until next time, stay informed, stay empowered, and take care.